By the end of this video, you will have a live e-commerce website deployed on the same infrastructure that companies like TikTok, Walmart, Nike, Stripe, and more use all across the world. This is project number 1 in our FinOps X AI series, where we will show you the skills that modern developers are using to build and manage cloud costs at scale. Companies need people who can build, deploy, and optimize without burning through money, and this is exactly what you're going to learn. Today, we're going to be using platforms like V0, Vercel, GitHub, and Cursor, and in the upcoming projects, we're going to integrate in Stripe, which is a skill set that any developer would need, and we're also going to look at analytics so that you can optimize your conversion funnel. You don't need any experience. This project is free, and let's just get straight into the video. Of course, these are the boring things we need to get out of the way. We need these accounts set up. So we need Vercel to deploy our website to the web so that other people can interact with it. We need V0, which is a way to generate code similar to Cursor, but there's a few interesting integrations that we can use with Vercel that I think is very useful. And then lastly, of course, we need old faithful GitHub so that we can pull our code and see live updates on our live link through Vercel. So I'm going to speed through the setup. Firstly, we need a GitHub account. If you don't have a GitHub account, I would recommend just going to this project guide in the description below. This is going to walk you through all of the setup for a GitHub account, plus also a Vercel account. It makes things super simple, and it's just an easy way to go through. We need to set these up so that we can continue with the project. When you are creating your Vercel account, I'd recommend just continuing with GitHub. That makes it super easy to actually link your Vercel and GitHub accounts together. You'll see an authorization pop up, and that is all good. This connection is just going to let Vercel automatically deploy our code whenever we push to GitHub. If you've done things correctly, you can go to your Vercel account right here, go to the top right hand corner, account settings, and you will see this authentication tab. Just click into here and you should have GitHub connected right here, which I do. Next, we can go to the V0 app here. This is actually owned by Vercel, and just make sure you sign in. Because Vercel and V0 are linked up, you should just be able to click sign in, and then it should auto sign in for you, or not. Damn. But I'm just going to continue with my account here. I've already created a Vercel account, so it should link up automatically. And there we go. Everything is great. Remember, everything that we're doing here is free. V0, Vercel, GitHub. There is, of course, limits within each one, but we're staying well within the limits for this project, so you will be completely fine. So now we can actually get to the fun part, which is generating our e-commerce app. But remember, in this series, we're also going to integrate payment systems. So things like Stripe, we're going to use some analytics so you can get the full idea of a FinOps lifecycle, especially using AI development. But doing that, I think it's important to understand the why behind the decisions that we're making. So I just want to give you some quick context on V0 because it's important to know. And the reason we're using something like V0 as opposed to Cursor to build our app is because V0 integrates really easily into Vercel so that we can deploy our app really quickly. Later on, we're going to use Cursor to edit our code and make changes and push that to GitHub so that it automatically syncs with Vercel. But that's the main reason we're using V0. Additionally, V0 is built on React, Next.js, Tailwind, CSS, and then ShadCN. ShadCN is an open source library where you can pull components. So typically the websites that it creates, the layouts, are very, very clean and aesthetic because they're already pulled from ShadCN, which is that library where we can just pull in components. This stack right here works really well with Vercel deployment. So the whole V0 platform is optimized for that, and it makes it a really good starting point for us. So we're going to go to the project guide, and remember, it's in the link down below, and we're going to copy in this prompt and we're going to paste it in V0. Now, before we run this, what are we saying? We're saying create an e-commerce web app with a landing page with a hero section, a product detail page with buy now button, placeholder for Stripe integration later, checkout page, modern and clean aesthetic, and everything needs to be on one page without scrolling. Now, obviously, this is just a prompt. You can update this. Something interesting that I found is you can use this little AI generation button. So I could just click this, for example, and it's going to go ahead and optimize my prompt for me. This I found is good for beginners who don't know exactly what they want. So if you just write something like build me an e-commerce website, the output is going to be crazy. V0 can go on whatever tangent it wants, but if you're using something that makes it a bit more specific, it can be useful. For me though, I'm actually just going to go back to the default here, and I'm going to change the model to V0 Max just for this first initial prompt. Keep in mind, you're not getting charged as we're still on the free tier here, and I can go ahead and submit this prompt. V0 is going to go ahead and start planning out the design and the brief. It's going going to work out the code base, what to build it in, and it's going to go ahead and build our e-commerce app. So here you can see it's applying the styling in CSS, and then also the pages are built in React right here. And this may take a little bit of time, so we can just chill. This is a great time actually to tell you to like, subscribe. Keep in mind this is a series, so we're going to be continuing on with this, so you don't want to miss the next ones. Ooh, okay. Ooh, this isn't actually too bad. And the thing is, with AI generated apps, a lot of creators don't talk about this, but you're going to start seeing a lot of very similar outputs, especially if people are pulling from libraries like ShadCN. That's why all of the new startups that you see that are coming out, they're looking like this. They are applying very similar styling. But I just want to give you some understanding as to where this can actually get to. Like, this is a website that I've built. It doesn't really look vibe coded at all, right? Like, the layout here is completely different. And that's because as you progress with vibe coding, you start understanding, okay, what can I actually pull from here that I like? What do I actually like about this website? How do I like the UI to be formatted? What colors can I use? Obviously in this project here, we're just making things simple, but you can go ahead and ask follow-up questions. So you could say something like, I actually want there to be a full homepage where you add in some features about the products, and I also want a footer on the page as well. I could then AI optimize this if I wanted to. It's going to enhance my prompt and I can send this away. Now V0 is going to go ahead and make changes. It's going to think about which files it needs to update, and it's going to go ahead and do that. I would encourage you to have a play here. This is the best way to learn how to use these tools. And it's also really useful to read what V0 is doing. You want to understand fundamentally what it's changing, why it's changing. Understand the fundamentals, and I'm telling you, you will get a much better output. I want the home page to be a bit longer so that I can scroll actually. And I want you to showcase one of the products on there along with its features. Man, I really like this animation. It's quite clean, huh? Additionally, if you want to change the model that V0 is running, you could use Mini or Pro depending on what you are actually changing. If it's smaller changes, so like little UI changes, I'd recommend using Mini. You don't want to waste tokens here. But if you're going for big fundamental changes, then you can use the max plan. So now the home page is looking a bit better. I'm liking the feel of this already. In reality, I would spend a lot more time changing this up. I know people say when they do these videos, oh, it looks really good. Be honest, this does not look amazing. This layout isn't there yet, but this is not the point of this project. We can do other videos on how to get the most out of these AI coding tools from a design perspective and then also from an engineering perspective. But for this project, we're focusing on FinOps and how to deploy this to Vercel. So this isn't something we're going to cover in depth in this video. Okay, but once we're happy with the general layout, remember we can change things in Cursor. We need to export this code to GitHub and deploy it to Vercel. The reason we're doing this is right now our app just exists in V0 Dev. We need to export it to GitHub where it stores, and then GitHub will then trigger a build for Vercel. Vercel then deploys that to that global edge network, and that network is going to provide things like HTTPS, global CDN for fast loading, and DDoS protection as well. And then happy users can access our website. So we're going to go back to V0 here. We're going to go up to the top right hand corner and click on the GitHub logo right here. For Git scope, just choose your account, and we're going to name it something like this, V0 e-commerce web app, and create the repository. It's going to take a little bit of time to load and set things up, but once it is set up like this, make sure that you set main as the active branch and set active branch like this, and everything is now connected to GitHub. If you're seeing some errors here, I'd recommend going back to Vercel and just checking that GitHub is in fact integrated. But if everything is all good on V0 right here, you can just say publish to web, and we're going to publish to production. And right now Vercel is just installing all the dependencies, so it's building our Next.js app and it's deploying it to its edge network as we just talked about. But once it shows that it's ready, we are going to be able to access this website. So once it's all done, we can just click visit site right here, and you're going to go ahead and actually see your site, which is pretty damn cool. You can also go to the cart right here, which is going to show us the payment integration for Stripe, which we're going to look at later on. If anything is going wrong here, we can go to Vercel, click into our overview just here, go into the project that we just created, and you can always go to deployments right here to check if things have been built properly. If they haven't, you'll be able to see the errors in build logs right here, and we can also troubleshoot some stuff in Cursor, which is what we're going to do soon. So once everything is working here with Vercel, we actually want to get our code onto our computer so we can edit this with Cursor. I'm going to assume that you have Cursor downloaded. If you do need help, check out the project guide, and it's going to walk you through the installation for both Mac and Windows. But we want to go ahead and clone a repo. I'm going to navigate to GitHub here. I'm going to go to my my repositories. When I'm in my repositories, I want to go to find the e-commerce web app that we just created. I'm going to click into here. I'm going to go to code, copy in the HTTPS, clone a repository, paste it in, and then hit enter. It's going to ask you a location to clone this repository. I'm just going to select my desktop as the location, and it's going to go ahead and start cloning. If you've done things right, you should see folders like app, components, library, public, styles, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this full screen. Now we want to run this locally on our localhost, so I can just use cursor chat. I want you to start up our localhost and hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and do its thing. Make sure that it's actually live and running. Should actually PNP install. There you go. Now it's installing the dependencies that we need, and it's going to run, and now we can see localhost is going to spin up in Cursor. If you aren't seeing something like this, maybe you don't have the updated version of Cursor. I prefer to see the local environment in here. So it just makes things easier, but you can update your version of Cursor to also see this, or you could open up localhost like you normally would on Google Chrome or any other browser. All right, so let's make some changes using the Cursor UI. Now there's a couple ways to do this. The normal way is to be using this window here, and you can just manually type in or speak into what changes you want. So let's say I'm scrolling down here and I want the stars here in the review section on the home page to be yellow. I could just do something like this. Cursor should be able to check this and update this relatively quick, which you can see. But this is obviously on our local environment. This is not published to Vercel yet on our live link. But you can also use Cursor's new interactive UI. It's not that new anymore actually, but you can use this tool to change different elements. So let's say I want to change this buy now button. I can click on that. I could increase the size of it. So I can go 400, or I can leave it the same. I can change the padding, the alignment of the text. There's a lot of things in here that you can change. The way that I personally use this is I don't actually use this components tab to edit stuff. I instead just use this inspect element tool to change things. So if I want to change this element here, let's say to 400, I could then say change this element to say 400 plus. In this way, you're giving context to Cursor really, really quickly, so it can make updates fast and accurately and know which components you're talking about. Likewise, if I'm in the cart section right here, I can click on this image. I want this image to be the same image used on the homepage. Cursor is then going to make those updates. So you can kind of see the power of using this inspect element tool. It's very useful and is going to help you develop even faster. But next, we need to push these changes to GitHub. So I'm going to open up a terminal. I'm just going to press Command J, spin up a new instance right here. So once I'm in here, I'll just make sure that I am in the right folder here, which I am. You can always check this by running pwd, but I want to add these changes, so I can git add all. I then need to commit these changes, so I can git commit and then type in my message here. UI changes to the homepage and cart. So you can see my files were committed, and then I need to git push origin main, as this is the first time I'm doing this, and you can see that I have in fact pushed to GitHub. Now the way that things are set up, Vercel is automatically deploying. So if we go to Vercel right now, I go back to this section here, you can see that this is the deployment I just made 18 seconds ago, and it's automatically promoted this to my production ready URL because there's no problems and no changes needed. If there is errors, that won't automatically deploy, and you can always roll back to the previous version if you need. But in this case, I can click into the deployment that I just made, and if I click one of these links right here, this is going to show me what is currently active. So you can see the changes that I made here are live right now, so the yellow stars, and then also in the cart we have the right image, and this is alive. This is a link that anyone could visit right now. Of course, we've got the bare bones of the website here, and we're going to implement more things as we go on. But I think one of the best features about Vercel is its performance monitoring feature. So let's navigate back to Vercel, and the reason we're doing this is because let's say you lose 1 second on your website, right? If you have a Stripe integration, which we're going to have in Project 2, then that 1 second delay might drop your conversion rate by 7%, 10%, 15%, 20%, who knows? But it may feel like a bad experience to users, and that may stop them from paying. So really optimizing the speed of your website by doing simple things that Vercel is going to help us track and manage is going to make a big difference. This is something I literally do for our marketing website that I showed you before that I built. So I'm going to go to speed and insights here, and I want you to go ahead and enable this. It'll show you that it has a very generous free tier, so we're not going to exceed this. and let's go ahead and enable. Now we can't see anything yet because we need to enable this component in our app. You can follow this guide right here, or you can head to the project guide right here, copy in this command and paste it in cursor. And it's just saying add the speed insights component to the app layout TSX, import it from Vercel speed insights, and add speed insights inside the body tag after children using PNPM, which is what we are using. Now we're not done yet. We need to go ahead and add these changes in so we can run the same thing as we did last time. Git add, then we need to git commit -m, and here we're going to call this add speed insights. And then of course we need to git push. So now we've pushed this, which means that in Vercel, it's going to start the building process. And here we'll live see what it looks like when it changes branches to the new version. Here you can see that it's ready and it's automatically updated our live link to this new pushed version. Once again, of course, we can roll back, and there's actually settings that you can change in here to not instantly promote to the new branch if you want that as well, but we can cover that in a different video. So now we need to go to this branch and actually have a little bit of data in here. So we need to go on our website and actually start using it. So we can play around a little bit. Let's click learn more. Let's go back to home, scroll around. We need about 30 seconds worth of data using our app. This will also give you some time to play around, feel what things are looking like. For example, I know that everything in this footer doesn't actually work. I haven't built those pages, so nothing is going to exist. But that hopefully should be enough. I can go into Speed Insights now, refresh the page, and you're going to start to see the data flow in here. Obviously, there's not much on this app right now, so we should be at 100% score, but there's different core web vitals in here that we want to track. And these are the metrics that Google uses to measure user experience and rank your website in terms of search results. Plays a big factor into SEO, or search engine optimization. So when you search something up on Google, it's going to help get your page to the top of the ranking list, along with other things, of course. You've got things like LCP in here, which measures your main page's loading speed. INP is going to measure the interactivity. CLS is the visual stability. There's a lot of things in here, and I'd recommend just playing around with it. If you see things that need improvement or are poor, Vercel is going to give you some of the optimizations that you could make. And in the past, this context is usually enough so that you can copy in this information and then paste it into cursor and create a plan to actually solve some of these problems. So for example, on our marketing website, I was using PNG images to load onto our website, but actually I found that WebP images are a lot faster to load up and require less space. So when I made that change to all the images on our website, it massively improved our speed metrics. If your scores are green, that means things are performing well, and this is a solid baseline before we actually integrate Stripe in project 2 of this series. Make sure that you are going through and adding in your answers to these questions plus screenshots, because at the end you will get documentation that looks like this, where you can change the theme, and you can also share this to places like LinkedIn or the community, or download it as a PDF, PNG, Markdown, any of these social platforms. It just means that the work that you're doing actually gets showcased to recruiters, and it's going to help you stand out and land a job. As always, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.